Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pima Voices. My name is Savannah, and I'll be your host. Today, I'm sitting down with Rachael Lord, who is one of the founders of the ARC Resource Center and Food Pantry at Pima Community College. And today, we'll be discussing how that Resource Center is keeping our students thriving. How are you today, Rachael?
I am doing well, Savannah. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for coming in. I think the ARC Resource Center and Food Pantry is a really important staple to have within the college. And so I'm really excited for you to share its mission, why it's so important, and more people should know about it, and how people can go ahead and get involved and everything. And so there's a lot to it. So for those people who don't know, give us a little backstory about the Resource Center and how it came about.
So I'm a social services faculty member here at Pima, and in 2018, which seems like a very long time ago, I was the club advisor for social services students, and we were asked to see if we could start a food pantry at West Campus. So we did. We just started doing some food drives, and we found a closet, and we started very small. And then we joined up with student senators and the TRIO program at Desert Vista campus, and we kind of organically came together and put centers at both West Campus and Desert Vista campus, and became partner agencies with the Community Food Bank of Southern Arizona. So that's kind of how that all started.
Yeah. And I always talk about how it's really fascinating and amazing to see how one person can enact change. And then when you engage with your community and all these people come together to create something that's so impactful, that's exactly what you guys did. And so I know you said you're at West Campus, you're at Desert Vista campus, and are you at East Campus as well?
We provide food distribution at East Campus. We currently, our two centers are only at Desert Vista and West Campus.
Gotcha. And so what kind of food and resources does the pantry provide, and how can students access them? Because it's for students, and is it also for faculty as well?
We provide food and hygiene resources for Pima students, staff, and faculty, so anyone can avail themselves of the services we provide. We post our days and hours of operation on our Pima Engage page, and there are various places around campus that we post our current operating hours, so I always encourage students to, if they can't find it easily on their Pima website, to just Google Pima ARC or Pima Food Pantry, and it'll pop up for them. So we provide non-perishable food items with a modified shopping model, so students have some choice. And then we also provide full-size hygiene items for students on a semester basis. We also support the hygiene closets that exist on the other campuses as well.
Yeah, so that was going to be my next question. So we have these food pantries on specific campuses. How is it that you reach out to the other campuses that necessarily don't have that same access as West or Desert Vista?
So like I said, we have the East Campus food distribution. We've been running a Northwest Campus pop-up pantry program, which is hard to say. And so that is a student-driven initiative. So we had a student reach out to us and wanted to bring food resources to Northwest Campus. So
I love that.
We're working with him to do almost on a monthly basis. We are a little bit constrained by our staffing levels. We have a very, very small staff, but we do the best we can to try and make food and hygiene items available to all students. Obviously, we would always like to do more, but we're a little bit constrained just based on the number of folks that are running our pantry locations.
Yeah. Do you guys actually have volunteers? Do you enlist volunteers to help with situations like that, so you can reach out and do a little bit more and go to those other camps like Northwest that has the pop-up is a volunteer thing?
So we have volunteer opportunities. Space is a consideration. We can't put 6 people in our very small spaces. We also need to have staff available for supervision and making sure that we have all student safety in mind. But otherwise, we do run on a volunteer and internship model. So every year we get interns from our social services students, volunteers across the board. Anyone can volunteer with us. And then we have interns from the ASU School of Social Work.
Okay.
And they actually are completing their internships with us that will help them graduate with a social work degree. And I'm pretty proud to say that most of our interns are Pima students who graduated from Pima and then went over to ASU School of Social Work here in Tucson. And then they've come back to us to do their internship at the ARC. So it's been really fantastic.
Yeah, it's come up a lot about how Pima students always find a way back to like work at Pima, give back to Pima. And it's always like this full circle moment of how they have started at Pima, you know, they may continue their education elsewhere, but I feel like we always have this tie to Pima and like how important it is. And so to see these students believe in something so much that they want to come back and continue their work, I think I always say beautiful, but it really is. To me, it's just like really beautiful. And so I love hearing that these were Pima students who are coming back and then continuing the mission and continuing assisting with the Resource Center. And so what impact have you seen with the Pantry have on students' like well-being and like academic success? Because obviously with like food insecurity and hygiene products, like that can help a student really kind of feel energized, feel charged, and ready to come to school and feel safe or secure. So what is the impact that the food pantry has, you think, on their success?
So we know officially, based on some statistics that have been collected internally here at Pima, that students who utilize the ARC are actually 20% more successful in completing their classes. So that's pretty impactful.
That's huge, yeah.
Comparatively. We also run some kind of internal data collection, student satisfaction surveys. We do some, obviously, we know our students. We talk to them, and we have gotten some survey information back that reflects that students really believe that without the ARC, they would not be able to complete their classes. We serve a lot of students who are struggling financially, have families that they're supporting, and they're trying to go to school. And they've noted that the ARC has really been the thing that keeps them going in their semester, especially when they're running short on resources, maybe towards the end of the month, or facing an unexpected bill. That the ARC is what gets them through to the next week or to the next month. So it's been, I think, we see it every day in students that are kind of vulnerable when they're talking to us about their situation. So I feel very strongly, and we do have data to back it up, that we are providing a service that is making students more successful in completion, being able to complete their education.
Which is like a main reason why this resource is so important to have, and to have the support to continue this is you see that change and that need every single day. And so thank you for one, being someone who helped found this resource, and then being there every day to kind of keep it going. Because I know it can be a lot, which is why you have campaigns. And I know a little while ago you guys started a campaign for April. Is that correct?
Yeah, we started the month of April with a brand new kind of fundraising design that actually some of our interns worked very hard on as part of their educational goals. And it's called a friendraiser, Gather for Good friendraiser. And so that will be running through April into the beginning of May. May 4th is the date that we're hoping to kind of wrap it up. And it is structured a little bit non-traditionally. It's looking at folks that want to support the pantry, but they would design their own kind of mini friendraiser. So they could put together a group of friends and have brunch, or they could go bowling, or they could, I don't know, go to the desert museum. And so the idea would be you gather your friends together, and at some point during your gathering, you talk to them about what the ARC does. And we provide some talking points and kind of ways in which you can solicit those donations, and then hopefully some of your friends feel inspired to give, and that is our fundraising model. So I'm really excited about it. Something completely different. We've never tried it before, but we really feel strongly that it's important to bring together the people that you care about and talk to them about something that is important to you. So if folks feel that this resource is important for Pima students, I'm hoping they can convey that and bring their friends together and be able to maybe make a difference in terms of raising some dollars for us.
Yeah, I really like that model. It makes it a little bit more comfortable too, because sometimes it can be like I'm always like a little bit shy, and I'm all like, I don't know how to bring this up. So the fact that you provide talking points, the person has the opportunity to be in an environment that is comfortable for them, comfortable for their friends, that's familiar, and they can essentially just do whatever they want to bring that gathering together and then share a message that's meaningful to them. And so I really like that model. I think that's really fun. I hope it's been good so far. And so I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, we're excited about it, and we really hope that it kind of even moves beyond kind of our usual suspects in terms of who we reach out to. And there are a lot of people in Tucson that have connections to Pima. And so I'm really hoping that is inspiring for folks to say, hey, I can do that. Yeah. I can host a dinner, or I can host a pool party or whatever it is.
Movie night.
And that those folks that feel that Pima is an important resource for our community feel like supporting food resources for those students that attend.
Yeah, because you never know who that message might reach. Maybe someone hasn't been comfortable about maybe their experience that's very similar to students who need that resource with the ARC. And so maybe it's like it might hit home, and they can be like, oh, like I don't ever want someone to feel that way, like the way I felt, or maybe someone's in the capacity to give a little bit more than they did in the past. And so I think having that model, like you said, will branch out to maybe someone you don't really have in the past, and it could reach a whole new demographic of people, and it just really brings that sense of community together, and then enlighten how important the ARC is. And is it just monetary donations that's going to be on the campaign, or can at these like social gatherings, can they collect things that you guys need the most, like canned food or things like that as well?
At any point, if folks feel more comfortable donating actual food items, we welcome any food or full-size hygiene item donations. And it's pretty easy to drop them off at either our Desert Vista or West Campus location. And then some of our faculty resource centers on other campuses or Student Life are able to collect those donations as well.
And what are some of the items that people could donate, essentially? Because you can accept donations every day.
Yep.
So what items would you say are that you look for the most, or maybe most important, that you guys are actively seeking at all times?
So again, full-size hygiene items are always in high demand for students. So that would be shampoo, body wash, conditioner, those types of items. Food items tend to be things that, again, are shelf stable. So making sure that they are not expired food items. Yes. We are a community food bank partner organization, so therefore we have to follow their food safety guidelines and be really diligent on what we can put out for students to accept. But, students like things like boxed mac and cheese, pasta, some of the items that are more difficult to purchase just because of inflation and price impacts tend to be like canned meats or canned tuna, canned soups. So things that may be a little bit further out of budget for students. So we try to provide a variety of items. We also partner with the U of A for produce. So U of A Agriculture provides us with tomatoes weekly. So we do a pickup with them. We also occasionally get some other fresh food items donated. So we can take fresh food items. However, we need to be really careful about food safety and making sure that those items get out in time so that we're not providing spoiled produce for students.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
No. We're very, very strict on that, so we need to be very careful.
That's very good to know.
Yeah.
And so obviously we talked about like the food and the pantry part about the ARC. But what about the Resource Center? So what is the Resource Center part of ARC?
So since we are run out of the social services department here at Pima, and I'm a social worker, and my staff and volunteers are social workers, we feel very strongly about bringing resources to campus. So we do 2 health and wellness resource events each calendar school year, so one in fall and one in spring. So on West Campus, we bring agencies onto campus for students to interact with. Most of those are basic needs, so housing, food resources, maybe bill pay resources, and then we include other agencies such as behavioral health agencies. BICUS came out to our last one, to show students how they can earn a bicycle by doing some volunteer work. We had the Pima County Health Department bring their mobile bus. So this huge bus was in the parking lot, and they could go do health screenings right there on a walk-in basis.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, really cool. So dental hygiene here on campus comes and does their little spiel because they can take students in and do dental exams.
Yes. Yeah.
We had nursing come and do blood pressure checks for students. So we partner with local agencies, and then we also partner within Pima programs to make sure that students are aware of all of the resources that we offer here.
I didn't know how big that event was. I've never been to one, and so
it's pretty big.
You talking about, I was like, oh my gosh, I think I need to come check it out because that is really cool. There's so much going on and so many resources and so many people that you can engage with and talk to. That's really resourceful. As the resource center part of the ARC.
So we also provide in each of our locations, we provide some access to brochures or pamphlets. We also try to make sure that students, if they're asking for a specific resource, that our staff or volunteers or interns, they are able to kind of brainstorm and provide resources for students in the moment. So if a student's like, hey, I'm getting evicted, all of our folks in the pantries are able to say, here are some agency resources for you to reach out to. We're concerned that this is happening to you. So the ARC exists to serve students, but it also exists to be a learning lab for our social work, social services, and other students that are in there to be empathetic and to talk to students about their needs and link students to resources in the community that we wouldn't necessarily provide ourselves. So we feel very strongly that it is a resource center as well as a food pantry.
Yeah, I didn't know too much about the backstory about the resource center part, and so hearing that, I'm sure there are other students or things or people within the community at Pima who don't know that that's accessible to them. And so you sharing that, thank you, because I think it's really important what you guys do on campuses and the resources that you provide. And, maybe someone's shy, they don't know how to ask or look for that information. And so you sitting here and talking about it gives that opportunity for someone to possibly hear that message, like, okay, well, I know where to go if I need help or assistance or someone to talk to. And so I think that's super, super important. And so how can students and staff get involved, whether through donations, volunteering, and advocacy, to make sure the ARC stays alive and thriving and fully functioning?
Like I said, we do accept volunteers, and we value our volunteers. Any sort of donations that folks want to provide, we are open to. We do a lot of collaborative work with, like I said, Student Senate or clubs, Honors PTK. We as much as possible, try to support any student-led initiatives that they want to do around the areas of basic needs, food, resources, hygiene resources, that type of thing. I think that overall, what would be really helpful is for staff and faculty to come and engage with us. We do have faculty that bring their classes down to tour our spaces. We love that. One of my goals and one of the goals of our programs is to reduce stigma around asking for help and to increase awareness of the resources that are available. I think students and staff and faculty are overwhelmed by the
Yeah.
amount of information that we're getting every single day. And so we send out emails and we send out blasts and we try to promote our resources, our programs. But I think a lot of it kind of just gets swept up in the fire hose of information that's coming at us at every given moment. So I think the most impact for us would be to make sure that students are aware that we are here for them as a resource, promoting, using, maybe normalizing using these resources that, hey, at any point you can come in and use our resources.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
No, we're a low barrier service, which means we don't ask you, hey, why do you need this?
Yeah.
We just say, hey, welcome. What can we do for you? And so really trying to reduce that stigma is having folks interact with us and see what we're all about.
Yeah, I can see it definitely being like very hard for someone to like, oh, I don't want people to know I'm getting help or something. But it's like, no, it's totally fine. Like, this is the time. If the assistance is there, reach out and take that, because why not?
Yeah.
You know, if you need it, your guys are like, your team is there to assist them, and that's what you're there for. And so, yeah, I hope that does change too a lot, because obviously we don't want to see anyone struggle in any way, shape, or form. And if you're there with open arms, they're lending a hand, yeah, I hope more people can understand, like, it's okay. Even if they're, like, interested, like, oh, what is art? They can probably stop in during your open hours, like, oh, hey, what's this about?
Yep.
Learn a little bit more, and get that information that they need. So, yeah, I do hope that changes, too, because I think it's really important, especially at a time when you're, like, going to school, and school can be really stressful. And like you said, maybe there's outside life forces that are taking part that is kind of, you know, making things a little bit overwhelming. And, yeah, you guys are a resource center, so I hope more people take advantage of that, and not necessarily take advantage, but necessarily use that resource a little bit more to assist them. So,
Yep, absolutely. We welcome it.
And was there anything else before we end our session today that you wanted to say to the community, or across the college as a whole?
I think it would be good for folks to realize that college students come in every flavor. And by that, I mean, we have students that would be more of your traditional student, maybe that have support from their families. And then we have a lot of students that are supporting their own families. We have a lot of students that are working full-time and going to school full-time. We have students that are actively parenting. We have students that are struggling with things like rent and transportation needs. And I would just like the community to kind of think maybe beyond that typical, stereotypical college student idea, and to kind of think about our college students as people who are living really rich lives, and that may need some additional support.
Well, I think you said that really well, and I especially think that's really important too. Yeah, I think when people come to Pima, they can definitely see the range of students. But you don't always get that chance to see, like, yeah, it's not just someone who's come out of high school. It could be someone in their 30s. It can be someone in their 40s. It can be someone in their 50s, 60s, and beyond. So, yeah, it completely varies. And maybe what you think a typical college student is exactly not what it is, actually. And so if anyone is interested in the campaign, you can visit pimafoundation.org. It is on our website. What is the official title that you guys are calling it?
It is Gather for Good Friendraiser. So it's a fundraiser, but it's a friendraiser.
I love that. It's so fun. Yeah. So if you're interested in doing that, and this is something that you would like to share with your immediate group of people in your community and would like to assist the ARC in their mission, please let us know. We would be happy to get you guys started and connect you with the right person to go ahead and do your friendraiser. And so thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you, Savannah.
And sharing a little bit more. I definitely learned a lot more myself, and I hope this reaches the right people, that they can learn more, and that you can get the support that you need, and hopefully keep evolving and growing the Resource Center and Food Pantry, because it is such a vital resource to the community and the college, that I think it's very important that people hear what you and your team are all about. So I appreciate you sitting down here with me today.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for tuning in to today's episode, and I will see you next time. So until then, thank you.